Yo, welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet VGC video. I'm your host, Jose Rocks, and today we have another episode of Journey Through VGC. The current format we are in is Regulation H. Y'all ready? Let's get into it. Holy smokes, guys, we are back with another one, and today I have a really cool team for you. So this is going to be our Porygon-Z and Espeon team. It's pretty much a side spam team, but it has a lot of different components to it that make it really fun. So if you guys want to give this team a try, there's a runner code up at the top right, as well as a Pokepaste down in the description below. So this team features Porygon-Z. This is a very strong, powerful Pokemon in this format. It does take a lot of support because it has a middling speed tier, it's base 90. So while it does outspeed things like Gholdengo, it is getting outsped pretty easily by like base 100 mons, right? So in that case, you have to use different support with it. The support with that we have on this team is going to be redirection from Indeedee, or just setting up Trick Room, one of the Trick Room users, and Porygon being able to outspeed the other opposing team. But we still made our Porygon max speed because we wanted to be able to outspeed Gholdengo outside of Trick Room, right? So this Porygon is very powerful. It's able to pick up a lot of one-hit KOs with Ground Tera. If you guys don't know about Tera Blast turns into the type that whatever move you use, and before it turns into that, Tera Blast is just a normal attack type attack. But with Porygon being a normal type, is able to take advantage of Tera Blast and still get an adaptability boost from it. So it's able to deal big damage with Tera Blast before you Tera, and then once you Tera, you get that stab boost onto a ground type attack, which can hit things for super effective damage, like steel type mons that would usually be resist the Tera Blast, right? Porygon has Bolt Beam coverage, which is Thunderbolt and Ice Beam. Hits a lot of things commonly in the format. A lot of my matches, when I get into the battle and I look at the team preview, I realize that Porygon can just one-shot pretty much everything on my opponent's team with a super effective hit, whether it be like a Thunderbolt into like a Pelipper, or Ice Beam into a Garchomp, or just a Ground Tera Blast into a Gholdengo on the other side of the field, or even our Chaladon, right? You're able to remove like a lot of common threats, and it's a really cool strategy to go for. So the teammates of this Porygon-Z are going to be Gallade. Gallade functions really well. I wanted this team to have a really strong Trick Room component, but not necessarily be reliant on Trick Room. So this Gallade is going to be Brave, but with not a negative speed nature, so that I'm able to outspeed like Commons Incineroar, and just one-hit KO them before I'm able to set up Trick Room, or before Trick Room set up, because you outspeed them, right? That way you can set up Trick Room either the next turn or just set it up with Indeedee, and you don't have to worry about Incineroar kind of ruining your day with pivoting and things like that. So the Clear Amulet is really good for being able to be immune to Intimidate, so that you're able to go for the one-hit KO with Sacred Sword onto Incineroar. It picks up most bulky Incineroar, but you can always guarantee that with Helping Hand. And the Ghost Tera on Gallade is specifically for one set, and that's going to be the Mousehole Population Bomb and Choice Scarf Final Gambit Annihilate. So the reason that it works good into that is because when they do have the Mousehole and the Annihilate, that strategy looks really good into this team, and there's not a lot of ways to stop it. So in order to stop it, like most Gallades you usually see have Fire Tera to get around like burns and of course like fire damage. But when Mousehole and Annihilate is led and it goes for the Population Bomb plus Final Gambit will go off first, right? And it'll go into the Indeedee. 9 times out of 10, go ahead and they're going to target the Indeedee, knock out your Indeedee, and then Population Bomb will knock out Gallade, and then you lose both of your Trick Room mons, and they only lose their Annihilate, so it's also a good trade for them, right? So with Ghost Tera, you're able to be immune to that Population Bomb, or even if they target the Gallade with the Final Gambit, and you're able to be immune to that, and then get your Trick Room up, and then kind of sweep your opponent from that point. So that's the main reasoning for the Ghost Tera on Gallade. Next we have Ursaluna. Ursaluna is going to be really a really powerful sweeper for this team. It is Min Speed Brave, and it's really strong. So Ursaluna, in my opinion, it feels like a restricted. It garners so much respect, and it does take one turn to get it set up with the Flame Orb, but usually that's really easy to do because a lot of the times your opponents will double protect when you get Trick Room up, and you can use that as an opportunity to switch out your Indeedee into the Ursaluna. So Ursaluna is able to like just pick up so many one-hit KOs. A lot of, you know, steel type mons or just bulky mons that the rest of your team doesn't want to deal with. Ursaluna is able to just deal big damage to them and remove them from the field. We also have Poison Tera. Poison Tera felt really good since this team does have Indeedee, and I did have Ghost Tera on Gallade. I didn't want to double down on the Ghost Teras, so we decided to go with Poison Tera. So Poison Tera also gives you a really good matchup into things like Rillaboom, things like Sneasler, so they can't hit you with close combat, or Dire Claw for good damage. And it came out to be really good to if you're in a situation where you just need you don't need Trick Room up, or you can't get Trick Room up and you still need your Ursaluna to be able to survive. The Poison Tera gives you like a lot of cool resistances and just good coverage across the board as far as things being able to hit you for good neutral damage, and allows Ursaluna to get a 1-hit KO in return. So that's pretty much the idea of why we went with the Poison Tera. Everything else about this Ursaluna is pretty standard. The substitute is just a way to punish people for playing passive in Trick Room. A lot of teams want to double protect just to stall out Trick Room, and that allows you to get a free substitute up, which causes your opponent to be in a losing position afterwards. Next we have Indeedee. This Indeedee also pretty standard. One thing to note is that we don't have Psychic on this Indeedee. We have Tera Blast with Rocky Helmet. The Tera Blast is really good because just like Porygon, Indeedee can use Tera Blast without having to Tera and still do decent chip damage. But what it's really good at is tearing into fire and having a fire type move. So in Tera Fire, Indeedee with Tera Blast is able to pick up like most Dingo from like 50%, and a lot of teams aren't expecting Indeedee to be able to get a KO on Dingo, right? And this just goes for like any frail or anything that's weak to fire type damage. You're really able to do a lot of damage to them. So Indeedee's kind of just not sitting on the field doing anything, right? Also, Fire Tera is a really good defensive coverage as far as a Tera when getting Trick Room up. It allows you to be able to resist Eruption as well as Make It Rain, which are two common spread type moves in the format right now. So it's a really good Tera for Indeedee. Of course, usually Water or Grass Tera also works to help you with different matchups, whether like the Rain matchup or Grass for like the Among Us matchup. But with us having Gallade, which can remove the Among Us, as well as Ursaluna having Substitute and being burned with the Flame Orb, and Meowscarada being Grass, Espeon with Magic Bounce, we have pretty good immunities into Among Us. So Among Us was never really an issue when I played with this team. Next you have Meowscarada. So Meowscarada is really cool because it has Fake Tears. It gets access to Fake Tears. So Fake Tears combos really well with Porygon-Z and Espeon. What you can do is leave Porygon-Z and Meowscarada, and if your opponent doesn't have mons that outspeed Porygon, you can just Fake Tears and just remove everything from your opponent's side of the field with one of your coverage moves, right? It's very hard to switch into Porygon already, but when you're also dropping your special defense by 2 stages, it becomes very powerful. Next we have just Overgrow and Flower Trick. It just allows Meowscarada to be able to be like a pseudo nuke with the Flower Tricks into mons that is super effective against, or things that need to be crit that are like boosted up. Overgrow is able to do like a lot of damage into them, and we're able to activate Overgrow pretty often due to the Focus Sash with Meowscarada being brought down to 1 HP. And last but not least is Espeon. Espeon was I just wanted to add like a fast side spam user onto this team, and I was looking through the Pokédex and seeing what mons were available and which would be like the fastest side spam user that didn't need to play in Trick Room, right? Because like I said, I didn't want this team to be solely rely on Trick Room, but it also punishes your opponents for having Tailwind because you have the Trick Room option, right? So that allows Espeon to outspeed a lot of common threats because you don't have to usually worry about your opponent setting up Tailwind. But Espeon, I looked for like a fast side spam user, right? And I wanted to pick the fastest side spam user with the highest special attack. And that turns out to be Espeon. It has 130 base special attack, so it's hitting really hard, and a lot of people don't expect it to do that much damage. And with Twisted Spoon and Psychic Tera, you're able to pick up a lot of 1-hit KOs on a lot of different mons in the format. We have Dazzling Gleam on this set, just so you're not 100% walled by dark types. And Espeon's Magic Bounce ability is really cool because a lot of opponents don't really know Espeon gives Magic Bounce. And one of my matches, and when I was practicing with this team, Among Us teared into water to resist but become neutral to the expanding force, and it spored into the Espeon, right? Espeon bounced the spore back at Among Us and put Among Us to sleep since it was no longer a grass type, which is a really cool interaction that a lot of opponents don't know about because Espeon is really not that common. But Espeon is absolutely one of the funnest components of this team, and it's a huge part of why I wanted to build this team in a specific way. And I didn't want to just use something like Weak Armor, Armor Rouge, or something like that because I felt like this team already had a good Trick Room core, and I wanted to have something that's really powerful outside of Trick Room. But that's gonna be it for a team breakdown on how to use this team. Oh, also let me one mechanic I forgot to mention or strategy is that Espeon, when you lead it with Indeedee, if your opponent does not have terrain control and you just follow me with Indeedee, once Indeedee goes down, you're able to bring in your Meowscarada, and then from that point you can go for like Fake Tears plus Expanding Force, and then unless they have Dark types, there's just no switch into that, right? After Espeon is boosted up with Psychic Tera, when it's Psychic Tera plus Meowscarada, there's just no switch ins. Even Steel types take 90 to 100% if they're not bulky. Of course, you can't Fake Tears into Gholdengo, but Gholdengo always goes down to 2 Expanding Forces anyway, right? But anything else like Ursaluna, you're able to just, deal massive amounts of damage with the Fake Tears plus Expanding Force. So it's a really cool strategy that you can go for. Meowscarada's best partners are going to be Porygon for the most part, but I just wanted to note that it is a way to get Meowscarada next to Espeon and Psychic Terrain, and that's bringing it in once your Indeedee goes down. But there's a rental code up at the top right, as well as a Pokepaste down in the description below. Let's go ahead and get into these battles. Alright, so this is an interesting team my opponent has. It's going to be a really fun battle. He has King Gambit and also Incineroar. But either one of those like Gallade, right? He has his own Trick on core. I think I want to pressure with Indeedee Porygon, and Gallade forces Teras in the end game, right? Espeon Expanding Force is so good though. Yeah, because it's so good into the Como, which is, I don't know what type of set he's running with Como. But I can beat his Dark types with Porygon and Gallade. So we kind of forced them to Tera so that we can hit him with Expanding Force. Alright, if you're me, if I'm you, you should expect Ice Beam at the least on Porygon, right? So Como should feel pretty threatened. So I'm gonna go for Helping Hand, Tera Blast, removing Incineroar, which gets rid of a Dark type and clears the way for Espeon. He doesn't know what Porygon does here, so he should be either protect with Como to scout or either Tera it. Either one, protecting Como or Terraing is good for us because either he reveals his Tera or he plays a passive turn and we get a free KO here without taking any damage. Alright. So he doesn't Tera, does he protect? You should protect Como here. Nice. So he went for the scout. And we get the one hit KO. Unless he's like Focus Sash and Incineroar. Beautiful. This Porygon is so good. And it's so good when it's protected by Indeedee, right? I'm gonna go for Helping Hand Thunderbolt here. I'm gonna ignore the Como because you have Protect, so I know you're not like a offensive spec set. Nice, he has to Protect. Just get the one hit KO. Let's go, Porygon. That's 2 1-hit KOs down, just like that. Porygon is popping off right now. Playing the scales. Okay. Oh, he's throat spray. See, he should have went for a Clangorous Soul at that point. I know you have it. Ice Beam is literally free here. He Rage Powders is fine. Alright, no Tera again. Sinister usually doesn't carry Protect. And we get another one-hit KO. This Porygon is going crazy. Oh my god. Alright, his special attack is high though. But he doesn't have a speed boost. So I'm gonna Wide Guard here and Trick him. Alright, there's a Steel Tera. If you really wanted to bait that out. Oh, he's fire. Okay. There should be another Clanging Scales here. Nice. And his defense is at like -2, so like Psycho Cut is always gonna kill here. And we got another turn of terrain to boot. Let me make sure everything's right, because he's at -2 defense. But yeah, Psycho Cut always kills here, even without the boost. He should protect here. I'm gonna switch in Indeedee because I just want to keep the terrain up. He should protect to start out the last turn of Psychic Terrain. Oh, he didn't protect. Nice, but he's at -2 defense, so it's always a KO with terrain up. So this was the cover for him protecting, then I just switch in Indeedee and get the terrain right back up, right? He didn't go for it. Porygon went bonkers here. Just picks up so many one-hit KOs, man. It's so good. If you guys haven't seen the reason why you should use Porygon in this format, Porygon-Z, well, that is give you a reason. When it's positioned properly, it's able to just sweep your opponent. Like it really excels at getting one-hit KOs when it hits things for super effective damage. Nice. Let's get into the next one. All right, so we got an opposing Trick Room team here. This is really cool. How do we want to go about this? With Torkoal, they will outspeed everything I have, right? But my Gallade is Brave, but it's not mint speed, so to outspeed Ursaluna, unless it's a speedier one. So that's something to take note of. I think Indeedee Porygon is cool here. Indeedee Espeon is not bad either. But Porygon like threatens everything on his team with a one-hit KO. I think I want to go like this. I think we're going to leave Meowscarada and Espeon. Because the Trick Room does get set up, there's just significantly worse. We do have Protect on both. and focus out on Meowscarada, but Meowscarada is really only good in Ursaluna. The rest of the team struggles into. And we already have Porygon and Gallade that are good in Ursaluna. Alright, so Indeedee Torkoal. So we gotta follow me so he can't go for any shenanigans with that. Safety goggles would be really good if we had it here. Do I get rolled by this if I don't make the right play turn one? I think I do. I think I'm just gonna go all in. If he doesn't protect Torkoal here, we're in a good spot. Because if he sleep powders and then goes for eruption after the eruption next turn, it's kind of like I'm gonna need Gallade out to deal with that. Okay. No protect on Torkoal. Oh, that's perfect. And Rocky Helmet breaks his Sash. Nice, and we get a surprise KO on Torkoal. See, I had a feeling he was just gonna still just go for just the raw eruption, which will still do a lot of damage. Would have got a double KO actually, but we would have picked up the Lilligant here. But now we can pick up the Lilligant with an Ice Beam. I wonder, does he just go for an expanding force here? Cause he should Tera, right? Now that Torkoal's down, like Indeedee's Trick Room is solid here for my Ursaluna. This is still a little bit scary. Yeah, there's the Tera. I could have Ice Beamed this slot because it's probably grass. Yeah. If we make it through the turn though, we'll be good. Oh, that's really bad. I should have followed me. Yeah, follow me is always safe there, because what is it, just expanding force? Yeah. He gets a two free KOs here because I didn't follow me. Oh, Indeedee survives though. It's not so bad after all. Alright, Gallade comes out here. He probably has Indeedee in the back if you brought Armor Rouge. I'm gonna Helping Hand, Psycho Cut, Armor Rouge. Alright, he didn't switch Lilligant. It's kind of annoying. Nice, but we get the one-hit KO there. Lilligant shouldn't be able to pick up a one-hit KO on Gallade. I'm shocked he didn't switch into Indeedee there. Alright. Usually this Lilligant runs Close Combat Leaf Blade. We saw usually after you, since you led it with Torkoal and maybe Sleep Powder. So unless you're not running Sleep Powder. Does Indeedee attack here? If Indeedee attacks here, we KO Lilligant, the game's over. So he can follow me. Yeah, I could have went for Sacred Sword here. Alright, but that's gonna be in high horsepower range. So we should be able to close this game out. Indeedee is actually clutch here because actually it worked out, because if I win this game, Trick Room was a huge part of it. So going for Trick Room over Follow Me actually potentially won us this game. Alright, so I'm gonna head long rush. That should KO Indeedee from that range, and Psycho Cut. He already Tera, so there's nothing he can do to get around this. Yeah, and Trick Room benefits us because we removed the Torkoal. Nice, Indeedee's down, and now we KO Lilligant. Beautiful. Yeah, having a really slow Gallade is really valuable in these type of teams. Gallade is just so strong, man. Does so much damage. Yeah, so with us being able to survive that expanded force on Indeedee, Trick Room was always correct there because we actually, you know, had the slower team after Torkoal was knocked out, so it worked out in our favor. That was a really fun game. Let's get into the next one. We have another Trick Room team here, but this one has an even speedier mode. Actually, Ursaluna could play on a Trick Room, but this might just be weakness policy, weak armor, Armor Rouge. And it could be Zoroark that can activate it with like a Choice Scarf U-turn, similar to like the team I started Regulation H with. Honestly, I just want to go Indeedee Espeon. Like, what does he have to really deal with that? I could just go Follow Me Expanding Force. I mean, if it's choice specs Zoroark, I think we outspeed it still though. I think Gallade with Wide Guard is solid here. And Meowscarada is also very solid. Ursaluna does threaten the Zoroark though. But Meowscarada is good in the Dragapult, Ursaluna, Zoroark, Armor Rouge, all of them except Sneasler. And we got Gallade for Sneasler, so I think this is good. I think Porygon just gets knocked out too easily here. So it is a debate whether we need Ursaluna, but I don't think we need to play towards Trick Room here. We went full speed ahead. I mean, this just loses to Follow Me plus Expanding Force, right? If Sneasler's Dark Tera though, that's kind of annoying. But I do got Dazzling. I think I just go all in for it. If I get a double KO here, I mean, cheers for me. Alright, looks like Sneasler's not gonna Tera. Is it Focus Sash? I mean, Sneasler can be a lot of things here. It's not Seeds because it would have got activated already. So maybe Focus Sash. Could be Clear Amulet. We didn't Tera, so it's definitely Focus Sash. But I want to make sure we pick up the Poke here. Okay. Well, something's still taking a lot of damage. I would guess Indeedee or Armor is going to come in here. But Sneasler's, oh, he just loses Ursaluna. He loses both. Because Sneasler, if it survives on Sash, yeah, it's gonna just KO itself in Indeedee's Rocky Helmet. This is why Rocky Helmet is so good on Indeedee, to get rid of these Sneasler Sashes. Oh! So interesting, Ursaluna just gets outsped in the back. Yeah, if Indeedee survived the turn, this game would have instantly been over. But this is the strength of Espeon, like it's so good. So we're up 3-2, but he still has Dragapult. But I can bring in Meowscarada. Yeah, I can bring in Meowscarada. And if he's Ghost, Tera Blast, Dragapult, he knocks out Espeon, but then we knock out Dragapult with Meowscarada. If he's Dragon Tera, then we if he's Dragon Tera, knockoff won't KO, but Espeon should survive a Darts, and then Expanding Force will KO. So I think we're good. Right, he's gonna Tera. If he's Ghost, then he just instantly loses the game, right? He's Dragon. Alright. So I don't think Darts is gonna kill Espeon from full HP. Smart Protect to counter a Flower Trick coming in there. But we don't protect her, so we can't double up. We survive, this game over. Nice. And see, the idea there was if he was Ghost, he knocks out Espeon, Meowscarada knocks out Poke, right? But now, since we didn't protect one slot, we don't get double. If it two, he splits the damage. Espeon can survive with the KO. Nice. Alright, now we can just see the fake tears play. Fake tears plus Expanding Force. And this is the strategy that you can go for with, like, they have steel types. If they get rid of Indeedee turn 1, the next turn Meowscarada comes in, clicks fake tears next to Espeon, and it just removes everything with Expanding Force that's not dark types, right? So it's a really cool strategy. Even the steel types take a lot of damage from that. Nice. Let's get to the next one. Okay, so we have an opposing Indeedee Ursaluna Gallade team. So usually my Indeedee is good on lead here. Kind of like Espeon too. Our teams are very similar. So we both have Ursaluna, Gallade, and Indeedee. His Psychic Magic Bounce user with Expanding Force is Hatterene, mine is Espeon. His fast Grass type is Lilligant, mine is Meowscarada. And then his heavy damage outputting sweeper is Torkoal, mine is Porygon-Z. So that's really cool. Actually, I want to lead Porygon because it's like it threatens so much damage. I want to bring Espeon in the back. Gallade with wide guard is strong here. Ursaluna's not too good into Torkoal and Gallade. Since one underspeeds it inside of Trick Room and the other outspeeds it outside of Trick Room. And Meowscarada, while it is good into Side Spam, it's not really good into Lilligant or Torkoal. Alright, so it's Lillitor. I mean, I think we just go for Follow Me plus Tera Blast and knock out Torkoal again, right? Alright, let's see if this plays out the same way the previous game did. This player's gonna Tera though. If he's tearing Torkoal in the fire, he's in trouble. Uh-oh. If you're tearing turn 1 in the fire, that means that you are not protecting. He's going to lose his Tera turn 1 here. And if you went for after you, this game is immediately over. Oh my god, we baited him. It's been nice knowing you, Torque. Oh, what? He's Focus Sash? I mean, if you went for Eruption, it's going to be like the weakest Eruption ever. I can't believe he's freaking Focus Sash. Alright, so he's still threatening damage. I'm going to Follow Me. Does he have any flying? No. So nothing's gonna be able to take a Tera Blast. I could read a Protect here, but it's not safe to let Torkoal get a Heat Wave off. Yeah, see, he didn't even Protect. I can't let Torkoal get a Heat Wave off here targeting Lilligant. That's a crit. No. It's unfortunate, but we do knock out Torkoal here. That's interesting. Focus Sash. So there's no Sash on the Lilligant. I think this game would have immediately been over if Lilligant had the Sash. Because we always plan to get rid of the Sash with Rocky Helmet and then Ice Beam the Lilligant. But it's probably Covert Cloak, if I had to guess. Is Trick Room still threatening here? Yes, because he has the harder Trick Room team. I may have to reverse Trick Room with my own mind. Alright. It's gonna Follow Me and Tera Blast here. If he doesn't set up Trick Room, I think we're good. But Lilligant's gonna be super fast in Trick Room if he does. This is just our strongest attack. Gallade has very good special defense, so I expect it to survive. Yeah. This game could have went so much better if Torkoal wasn't Sash. You can switch into his sweeper. I think I try to wake up with Indeedee. Well, I can't wake up, but I burn a turn of sleep and go into Gallade. Gallade doesn't even resist Psycho Cut. Well, anyway, I should have went into Espeon. Oh, but he went for Sacred Sword. Still a lot of damage. I just can't beat Trick Room at this point. I can just click Trick Room with both mine, see if we get it up, but I doubt it. I mean, see if we can get it. Oh, wait. If Indeedee wakes up here. No, I think Sacred Sword kills from range. Could I prevent it? Trick Room from going up. Turn 1 seemed like it went so well for us, but I mean, both of these are just threatening with one-hit KOs. I think Ursaluna targets Espeon, so I can win if Porygon is able to survive an attack here and KOs, one-hit KOs Ursaluna. Alright. It's all contingent on whether Porygon survives here, but yeah, Trick Room. It's crazy. Trick Room was so good here, and I have a Trick Room team. Focus Sash Torkoal. Yeah, we got the KO. He would have had to bring in Gallade right there, right? He still gets Trick Room up, and I KO. Well, again, he still gets. It would have been the same thing, but Indeedee would have had more health. The turn he went for Trick Room, if I should have switched into Gallade immediately and not went for the damage. That way, my Gallade would have been out and threatening damage back before it gets KO'd, right? Yeah, that's how we should have played it. Let's keep going. Another game here where Porygon threatens everything on his team with super effective damage. So I kind of want to lead it with Indeedee. And Gallade. Yeah, we're gonna leave Meowscarada here. I don't like Meowscarada's matchup into Archaludon and Dragonite, and Ursaluna is really bad into Tauros plus Rillaboom. And Trick Room isn't as easy here because he has King Gambit, right? Which probably definitely comes. I have to guess King Gambit, Rillaboom in the back. So probably Pelipper, Archaludon on lead. Oh, he leaves King Gambit right off the rep. My opponent may expect Thunderbolt here, but he may not expect Tera Blast. I really don't want to lose Indeedee here. I'm gonna go for Helping Hand Tera Blast. We'll see if he protects the Scout on Tauros. That'll actually be really good for us. Because I need Indeedee for terrain control. But if he just wave crashes instead of close combat in here. He didn't protect. Did he? Oh no, protect comes out next. Nice. Okay, he was scouting. But he didn't protect King Gambit. Oh. Focus Sash? I need Indeedee's terrain here, man. That's such a huge survival. What's up with people running Focus Sash? I mean, this play would have just lost him the game if I just attacked. I think a double protect there was kind of obvious on my part, though. He didn't protect. Is this KO? Oh, it does KO. And he didn't glide either. So Porygon gets the Ice Beam off. Alright, it did about half. It's a very bulky Rilla. He's saving Tera for Ursaluna, clearly. He probably felt Rilla was safe there, but Ice Beam did do a lot of damage. I'm able to stall out terrain. 3 turns. I can stall out terrain here. You should glide into Porygon. So I switched Porygon out into Gallade. Switch Porygon out into Gallade. Psychic Rilla. He still has Tera though. Alright, there it is. Oh, he Tera Rilla Bone. He must be sturdy on that slot. Alright, I have to call it whether he expects me to protect here. I think he calls a protect here because I've been protecting too much. Nice. He called a protect. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And Dragon Pulse shouldn't get a KO on either slot here. Hopefully it's not Electro Shot. That's not a KO delayed though. Alright, so this depends on whether he's... Okay, we did get the Rillaboom call right though. Oh, we survived. That's GG. Let's go, Gallade. You're so good. He is sturdy. That's why he didn't Tera the... That's exactly why he didn't Tera the Ursaluna. So he read. I played passive with Porygon after like getting KOs. Like I protected and stalling out the last turn of terrain was kind of obvious, so I don't take a Grassy Glide. So that's why I chose not to protect there. And he read into it, so he was double up into Gallade with most likely a Wood Hammer and Electro Shot. But now we just win the game. Porygon was so good here. Sometimes you got to make those calls, man, because it's so easy to just protect Porygon and stall out the last turn of Grassy Terrain. But doing that with him being sturdy on our Chaladon, even if we didn't get the KO, like I KO Rillaboom, right? Our Chaladon gets a Dragon Pulse off. The next turn, I go for another Terra Blast into it, but since he's sturdy, he always gets another Dragon Pulse off, so he will win the game. 2 Dragon Pulse should be enough to KO Porygon, right? Especially after the special attack boost for knocking out Gallade had I protected. So we had to not protect that turn in order to win that game. We have Callum here. Murkrow's interesting. Murkrow's good into like Side Spam, but not into Trick Room. With him having a Tailwind team, I think his Mons will probably be relatively speedy. So I want to play towards Trick Room here. I think Gallade should underspeed everything, right? Ursaluna is threatening KOs on pretty much everything. I need to save Ghost Tera for Ursaluna for the Rillaboom matchup. And Meowscarada is valuable here for the Primarina and the Ursaluna. I don't think Espeon offered me a lot here because terrain is most likely going to continuously get swapped. I think Porygon just goes down too easily. Porygon does threaten like everything with super effective damage though, but I really don't like when they have Rillaboom. If they didn't have Rillaboom, I can just sweep with Porygon, right? Rillaboom's like 100% gonna come. If he leaves Rillaboom, he's in a bad spot. Okay, they didn't need it. Alright, so this is probably Hyper Voice plus Rain Dance. So I'm gonna Wide Guard and Trick on with Indeedee. Huh? Why would you click Taunt there? Maybe you didn't pay attention to the terrain. That would have worked if you switched in Rillaboom though. He clicked another Hyper Voice here. That's really bad. But it's Moonblast. So we do survive, which is clutch. And we won't hit KO Primarine. Crit probably mattered there. Primarina's physical defense is not the best. And Gallade's attack is really strong. But if you're going to go for... I mean, I guess Murkrow just has nothing else it can go for there. I'm just gonna Facade here and switch into Indeedee. I don't really see how he gets around that.
And we knock out Rillaboom, this game should be over.
Yeah, this is what I was saying, that Murkrow is good in the side spam, but if you just play like your other trick on pieces, like Murkrow's really bad inside of it, so we can kind of just ignore it. I mean, Foul Play do decent damage, but it hasn't clicked it. Gallade having good, really good special defenses, I can't understand how clutch that is. Alright, so this Psychic Terrain covers for Fake Out or Grassy Glide. And with Poison Tera, Rillaboom can't beat, you know, Ursaluna easily unless it has high horsepower, which I don't expect it to. Oh, he didn't click priority though, so props to him reading the switching, but it still cost him his Rillaboom. He does have Foul Play. But Ursaluna is like too well positioned here. It's just so powerful. Honestly, and I know your Ursaluna is probably speedy since it's on a Murkrow team, so I'm just gonna target it. Let me turn the trick on the left. He has to get a double protect on that slot. Actually, I think he protects it. I'm just gonna knock out Murkrow because Meowscarada just beats it. He's gonna protect, right? And if he doesn't, he doesn't. Yep, there we go. 2020 Pokevision.
Can we get a 2020 Pokevision in the comments?
Yeah, he would have to get a double protect with Ursaluna, which he may get. And I just figured, let's just knock out Murkrow. That way, even if he gets a double protect, Meowscarada can beat Ursaluna. We have Wide Guard on Gallade, so he can't click Hyper Voice. So we always get 2 Flower Tricks off, even if he's normal Tera. So Meowscarada should always win. He should go for a double protect here. Yep, there it is. But even if he got it, like, still Ursaluna and Indeedee, like, I just follow me. You can't click Blood Moon. Hyper Voice is not going to knock out Ursaluna. We didn't drop our defenses. Nice. And this just shows you the trick room component of this team, how you can sweep with Ursaluna. Poison Tera is so good on this Ursaluna. Ursaluna feels really, really broken when it's, like, in trick room. It feels really broken. Yeah, with Poison Tera, you can really play it outside of trick room too. So he has Side Spam. This is a really fast team. This team kind of falls to, unless he leads Indeedee, right? Within prison. I kind of want to go Meowscarada and Indeedee. Ursaluna, Gallade. Because this team is very fast paced and like Trick Room kind of beats it. And if he leaves Indeedee to try to like stop Trick Room, Meowscarada threatens that. Alright, so there's Indeedee. Are you seeds on the Sneasling? Yes. I think he Tera's Indeedee here. I'm just gonna go for it. If I get it up, then I think I just win. Poison, yeah, that's the Tera on Indeedee. Oh, we didn't Tera Indeedee. Okay. Are you just going for throat chop? If this doesn't KO Indeedee, you're in a really bad spot. Alright, it does. But like I said, Ursaluna is honestly not in that bad of a spot with Poison Tera. Alright, it just protects all around. Side shot. Alright, so this should just be a double KO, right? With Poison Tera on Ursaluna. What does he have that can switch in? Nothing can really switch into a knockoff, right? Espeon in the back would have been so good since he stopped. Because Espeon outspeeds his whole team except for Sneasling. And we should remove Sneasler here. Oh, okay. That's a good target. Nice, but he doesn't get any effects. So we keep our speedy Meowscarada. But we have revealed our Tera. And he uses Tera. Now, if he does bring out Delphox, if he's like Specs, Specs, that's probably 9 toes though. Oh, it's Delphox. Let me turn to Terreno left. 2. So protecting here scouts if Delphox has protect, right? Like we're in a really good spot. As long as Delphox is not like Focus Sash, right? Been seeing a lot of weird Focus Sashes lately. Knockoff should get the KO. If he protects it here, then we get KO backs. He is protect. I mean, backs just kill. It just gets rid of itself now, right? Wait, I don't think that Delphox can one-shot. Yeah, we just protect and trick him. Delphox can't one-shot Gallade. Nice. And he's Life Orb, so he's not Sash. And that's just game. Let's go. And a lot of Delphoxes are not running Specs anymore. He straight up attacked like he was Specs though. But I don't know if knockoff is a 1 KO, so I think we played it perfectly. Psycho Cut is always better because it can get the crit, right? Nice. Wow, this team is so much fun. This team is so much fun. Alright, well, that's going to be it for our battles. We're going to get into a final review with this team. Holy smokes, guys. Alright, getting into a final review. And this team was amazing. This team is so much fun. It has so many tricks. And I think it's a really strong and consistent team for, you know, the best of 1 ladder. You probably could, like I said, I always try to build teams in a way where you can use them on best of 3 ladder. So while it does have some tricks, it's not like it's something that, you know, it's only set for like gimmicks or like best of 1. Like Porygon having ground Tera with your opponents knowing that also forces them to play in a specific way, right? Especially with the substitute on Ursaluna, forces them to like not play passive in front of it. which may leave them open for attacks, right? So it also can work in best of 3. I'm also going to take it on the tournament. But I think this team is a 10 out of 10. It's really fun. We got to really showcase what Porygon-Z can do and how much damage it can do in this format. Gallade, Ursaluna, and Indeedee are a really strong Trick Room core. Of course, you can add that to any Trick Room core, but we wanted to have it here and be able to play outside of Trick Room, right? Meowscarada with the fake tears and the Porygon-Z is just very threatening and does so much damage, right? And Espeon is a very good, fast, special attacking expanded force user, and it's really fun to use. You saw in a couple of games we were able to just like really dominate with it, and it threatens a lot of gameplay moves where they have to bring like specific sets, so they don't just lose to expanding force from Espeon. So it does cause a lot of like Teras and a lot of mismatches, and also it causes them to like bring dark types, which Gallade and Ursaluna and Porygon-Z kind of just eat up with their super effective damage, which is really cool. Well, dark and ground steel types, right? So it's a really cool set, and I've had a lot of fun with this team. But if you do want to give it a try, there's a rental code up at the top right of the screen, as well as a Pokepaste for this in case you want to play it on Showdown down in the description below. But that's going to be it for these battles. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on those post notifications if you like this type of content, because we're posting daily. And more videos soon. Stay tuned. Deuces.